we don't realize that how we show up in relationships, which there's a psychological concept about it.
Yeah.
We call it the attachment theory. We don't realize that the way we show up in relationships has a lot to do with how we were raised, how our primary caregivers were, whether that's your mom, your dad, your grandmother, your grandfather, or whoever was your very primary caregiver. We don't realize.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you're watching from. My name is Deborah Kisongochi, and this is my safe space. Guys, as you know, we are at Del Suits Bungoma. Del Suits is a beautiful space that gives us an opportunity to shoot our content here on Number One TV and on our YouTube channel. Guys, and as you know, our channel is all about inspirations, all about careers, all about building each other. And today we have a guest on board, as per usual. I've never done this show alone, so we have a guest, a very beautiful lady, and she's here with us. Karibu on my safe space. Guys, this interview has been postponed for the longest time.
Yes.
This interview, I've asked for it for the longest.
Don't paint me like that.
No, the beauty of it is that it's a good thing that we are having you today here on our show, and I want you to introduce yourself to our viewers. Maybe this is your camera here. You can introduce yourself to our viewers on Number One TV and on my safe space on my YouTube channel.
Okay. My name is Tunu Ngendo Wangoi.
Yes.
Counseling psychologist by profession.
Yes.
First of all, before I even get deeper into the introduction, I am so sorry.
It's okay.
I know this interview has been a long time coming.
Good things wait.
Yes.
They say so.
We can say that I've been some kind of transition. Maybe we'll get into that much later.
For sure.
And that transition is what kind of got me very... Yes, but we are here now, and we thank God, and I'm so glad to be here. Asanteni sana. Yes, I'm looking forward to having a lot of fun. Thank you.
So you are saying you are
a counseling psychologist.
Counseling psychologist.
Yes, I am a therapist.
Oh,
I am a psychotherapist.
At least I know a therapist. Come on.
Well, in university, I did a course. I did a degree called counseling psychology.
Oh, wow.
So now I am a psychotherapist or a therapist.
Wow.
I'm a counselor.
Wow.
Whatever you want to call me.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm very sure I'm not alone who is wondering who is a therapist or who is a counselor. Maybe you can just get into a little bit of it and maybe tell my viewers, what do you do as a therapist?
Okay, I work in mental health. So what happens is people go through different issues or different mental illnesses. So where I come in is to first, maybe I can help with diagnosis or with assessments, or I get to help people, guide people through the issues that they are going through. And it's not just a matter of, I know people normally tell me, but see, I can just go to my pastor and advise. See, I have a best friend. My best friend will just advise me. But it's professional in this sense. When you come to me and you've explained to me your issues, it won't just end there. It won't just be a bunch of, that's what you're going through. Go do ABCD. That is what your friend will do. For sure. Your friend will tell you what to do or what not to do. Yeah. But mine is evidence-based. Yes. I will have to come up with a treatment plan that is evidence-based. Okay. Something that has worked before, something that is tailor-made to fit your specific issue. Oh, wow. Because you see, we are living in a world right now where people self-medicate, or you go to ChatGPT or Google and you give yourself a diagnosis. Now recently we have TikTok. Oh yes. We have TikTok and psychiatrists and psychologists. A therapist. And everybody has a mental issue. So everyone is like self-diagnosing. What you miss out on is, I have the training to know the differences between these things, because sometimes you find some of these issues look the same, especially for the mental illnesses. Some of them might have similar signs and symptoms. So mine, I am able to know, okay, this probably is the differential diagnosis. It could be this, but because of this and these features, it's this. Wow. I want to look at the age of onset. When you come, I won't just ask you what you're going through. Oh yeah. I want to know how long have you been feeling what you're feeling. how has it affected you? Because we all go through issues.
Oh,
we feel sad, we feel anxious, but for us to be able to ascertain, oh, maybe this is like a serious mental issue, want to know for how long probably it has lasted, how it affects your life, how is your sleep, how is your appetite. So basically we look at the different ways these issues affect your day-to-day functioning. And that's why it is very important to go to a trained and qualified professional to get a diagnosis. Maybe you could be suspecting, okay, ni anxiety, ni depression, but kuja, then we are certain that for real that's true, because maybe I'll need to give you tests. I might need to consult with a psychiatrist, because for some of these issues you might require medication. I'm not allowed to okay, I can diagnose, but I can't prescribe medication. So that is where a psychiatrist comes in.
Can I call you daktari?
You can, but I'm not really a daktari. I'm not a daktari in that. I'm not like a medical doctor.
I guess.
Yes. People call me daktari because I've worked in a hospital.
But I call you daktari.
You call me daktari because essentially what we do is treat.
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, it's a fancy thing because actually I wanted to become a doctor as a child, and then maths happened. But now I'm close enough. We can say I'm close enough to people still call me daktari. So
I think now that really brings me to my next question that I was actually about to ask you. Did you grow up knowing you want to be a therapist, or how did this come up along?
Okay.
Because you are the first friend I have as a therapist. So
You're curious. Was it something you always wanted?
Yeah, I know.
Well, like every other child, in my very, very early childhood, I don't know whether it's conditioning. You either want to be a doctor, a lawyer, an
or
engineer.
A teacher,
Well, where I grew up, people never really fancied being a teacher. Huku ndio nimeona watu wako na excitement ya kukuwa walimu. But it was never as
apologies
common.
to my village mates.
But there's nothing wrong. I love my teachers from primary up to now. Patana na mwalimu wangu hawezi nipa fare kwa gari. But anyway, I wanted to be a doctor as a very young child. I thought I wanted to be a doctor because I had medical issues. I was admitted in hospital for a long time. For my leg, you've seen I walk with a crutch.
Oh, yeah, you do.
So, imenianza kitambo.
Okay.
So, you see that, I want to become a doctor so I can help other children like myself.
Yes.
So, that was the reasoning. Then they looked cool. The doctors looked cool when they came to review me. I always liked people who are speaking English. It always looked so sophisticated to me. Well, anaongea kizungu. But it just looked very fancy. Anyway, then when I grew up and now I was more realistic, of course also based on how am I performing. There's a certain way you need to perform as a doctor.
True, very true.
Then I got very interested in just humanities. And I've always said, even if I was to probably get an A with what I got to know along my life's journey, I always wanted to work with people. So for the longest time, I said I wanted to do international relations, become a diplomat. I always liked things that are fancy. Ambassador, someone. I always imagined my career as one where niko Turkana mahali ushago. I'm helping vulnerable communities. The next time I'm probably in Kakuma. The next time I'm where in South Sudan. So I've always thought of my life like that, and I feel like I'm close enough.
Oh, you are.
Then in high school, I used to be that friend that people will come to. Hey, Tunu, niko na siri. Naweza kuja nikwambie, Aki Tunu, you look mature. Wewe unakaa kutrustiwa. Can I tell you my... So when I got my KCSE results and we needed to choose, I don't know, it just felt very natural. I didn't get enough cut points for international relations. So the next most natural thing felt like, psychology.
Wow.
I think I fit in here. And even my teacher was like, wewe si ndio unapeanga tu kila mtu hapa mawaidha, you might as well. Yes, but the moment I really fell in love with it was when I did my attachment. I went to Kenyatta National Hospital. And you are exposed to basically everything there is to see. And just being there, being able to make that impact. Someone calling you and telling you, hey, my child has not smiled for like over 2 weeks, but after you spoke, ako jovial, ako nini, it was so fulfilling. It was both challenging, because there's a time I had to leave the room, go cry, come back. It was both challenging, but also the fulfillment that came from it. And since then, it's really deeply my passion. I think I am living in my purpose, if you ask me. Yes.
How long have you been practicing?
Well, officially from 2021, but I can say my experience is from 2019, because like that's when I started handling clients. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Actually, I was about to ask you, is there at a point in your sessions you feel like you're getting do you get attached to your clients? Is it professional?
No, it's not professional. I can't even be your therapist.
You know, it really hurts.
Guys. I can't be your therapist. That's the unfortunate. I can't even be your therapist.
Oh my goodness.
Ethically, we're discouraged to have a dual relationship. Dual meaning two. Yeah. I can only be one thing to you. I'm either your friend, your family, or your therapist. But I can't be your therapist and something else. Sometimes it's tempting. But even when my friends come, and this one I have had to learn over time and have that boundary, I'm going to maybe advise you as a friend. Of course, maybe my advice is more rich, but it's not therapy.
Okay.
Yeah? And then I'll give you a couple of numbers that you can call, people you can reach out to now give you the professional help.
Wow.
But about attachment, sometimes you're tempted.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're left wondering, hey, this is a cool person. I don't want to be friends with this person. Because they will tell you about their hobbies. Basically, people come.
Yeah.
One moment you're a stranger, the next moment you're telling me your deepest life secret. So it's a very intimate relationship.
Yeah.
But there is importance to have that emotional distance. So unafanga kukuwa like a balance between the emotional distance and the emotional closeness. Because if you're too distant, you may not be able to understand this person.
True.
But if you're too close to the level of now we're hanging out, now you're my bestie and I'm your therapist. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten an instance where your client wants to be your friend and they still want you to be their therapist?
Yeah, many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, sometimes when I make a mistake, well, let's not call it a mistake, but sometimes when there are certain things that we'll post on my status and I'll exclude my clients or like those serious people.
Yes.
Then there are times I won't, because I feel like, oh, this is something that can also be beneficial.
To them, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now you find someone commenting, oh, even male clients probably are like, you're not like my wife. I wish my wife was like you. It's a challenge. Yeah. Someone who wants to hang out with you, it's hard.
Yeah.
But then again, you have to explain to them. But later on, after probably 2 years or more of working together, maybe that can be considered. And also after we've terminated our therapy sessions, maybe we can consider.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always good to just have that boundary. Although it can be tempting, let me just be honest. It can be tempting. You meet amazing personalities. You hear yourself in some of these stories. But if you're to be able to help this person effectively, then you have to just be their therapist.
Their therapist. Yeah. Wow. So you allow me to call you Doctor, because that is what I call you.
It's okay.
So Doctor, you mentioned something. Nowadays we self-diagnose ourselves. And actually, I'm a victim. I'll go to Google. How can I sleep early? I go to TikTok. What are people doing to sleep early? And it is.
Why am I not sleeping?
Why am I not sleeping?
They tell you sleep disorders.
They tell you go to YouTube, put music that is like the rain is falling.
Although
and you'll
that's
sleep.
nice. It never works for you.
It works for me, and you see I'm self-diagnosing myself, and it is working for me.
But like that is not a bad thing to find like resources that can aid in your, like if you're trying to heal. Those resources, even I will send you the links after sessions. I'll send you some homework, worksheets. I'll send you some of those links, like affirmations, those rain, whatever for sleeping. But it's good to do that after maybe you understand what's the root cause of my lack of sleep. Why have I not slept? Why is it persistent? Normally I sleep at 10. Now I'm finding it difficult to even sleep at 1. What is that has changed? Maybe what has changed in my life? Is it my diet? Or is it my lifestyle? Or is it that I'm stressed? Because peer lack of sleep can be because of many different things. It's not just limited to mental health issues. So it's good to know, is it your doctor you need to see? Then your doctor is able to know hapa hakuna ugonjwa. Maybe see a psychologist. Let's know if there are other issues, other psychosocial issues that could prevent you from sleeping properly. Yes.
Doctor, will you describe a therapist as a taker and not a giver? Because you are just the one at the receiving end when you're in these sessions.
Well, I give and take.
Okay.
Well, give and take in the sense that after I've listened, then I will maybe teach you coping mechanisms. We can do some grounding.
I'm talking about now you.
Work. Oh.
For you.
For me?
Yes.
Or like I take and take and take and
yes.
take. It's like
what about
absorb.
you? Yes. What about you?
Oh, what about me?
Yes.
What do I do so that these things don't affect me? First of all, one thing, let me say it publicly here. Because it's a safe space.
Oh,
therapists are people too. Yeah. First of all, I'm human and then I'm a therapist.
True.
I was like Tunu and then I just happened to go to university and did psychology.
Yes.
But that, because people sometimes assume, your life is perfect because you're telling us all these things, you know what to do. Nope. I also have a therapist.
Wow.
Yes. Wow. And then we have things like supervision. We have peer supervision, or you find an older, more, doesn't even have to be an older, but a more qualified, because you see their levels.
Yeah.
There's someone who's done their master's, some PhD, all that. So you find a more qualified person to like kind of guide you. You can tell them things that were difficult, maybe turning points in some of the sessions that you had, because they've been there for a long time. They've probably dealt with a similar issue. And then we also have psychological debriefing, where you just sit, do activities or talk about things that are maybe disturbing you. So you really have to be very intentional with self-care and those things.
Yeah.
So you're also able. You can't pour from an empty cup.
True.
Yes.
True. Wow.
Yes.
I think I have an interest in something else, because we are in Bungoma County.
Yes.
And I come from this county, so I know my people, I know myself. That's why we are self-medicating ourselves, even not just therapy alone, even in sicknesses. I'll go online and say, I'm having a headache, what can I do about this, or what can I take? So you're not from Bungoma County, right?
I'm not really.
Where are you from?
I was born in Mombasa County, but I was raised in Nairobi County.
Wow.
So my ushago is Dagoretti, Nairobi County.
Show us your ways.
Ushago, mimi wale wazana. Ushago kwetu ni Nairobi.
Oh my goodness, that's beautiful.
Yes.
So personally, I've grown up in a village, and
me too.
Dagoretti is a village. Come on,
yes.
Come on.
Aye, you'll be shocked. In fact, this railway line up, it reminds me of home. Kuna really uko home.
Sasa imagine, ushago kwetu reli yezi. Uko si ushago kwetu yezi pita.
Oh, sasa ushago ni kwenye hakuna reli, hakuna.
There's a river, literally.
Okay. Maybe I don't have those like extreme ushago experiences, but it's close enough.
Yeah. So I've said I understand my people, and I think somebody like me, maybe just getting out of the village and exploring outside Bungoma has helped me, that I can embrace therapy.
Yeah.
Do you think my people from Bungoma embrace therapy since you came, leave alone right now?
Yeah.
When you came to Bungoma as a therapist, how was your experience?
Well, very slow.
Yeah.
It's been a slow process, and not just in Bungoma.
Okay.
It's everywhere. It's a global pandemic, if you ask me.
Wow.
People's health-seeking behaviors ni mbaya. Sasa it's even worse when it comes to mental health.
Wow.
Because you see, mental health, most of it is not kitu tangible. See, if mguu imeumia, nimeenda hospitali, nimefanywa x-ray, we can clearly see there's a problem. Oh, you need surgery.
Yes.
Yeah, but now with mental health, it's mostly things you're feeling, the way you're perceiving.
Yeah.
Unaanza kusema you're seeing things, you're hearing things.
Yeah.
someone said like during our break, kila mtu atassume ni uchawi.
Oh yes.
You know, especially kushago alirogwa, you know, because your perception is different. You're thinking differently, your moods have changed. You know, the way you're interacting with people has changed. But it's not like atinaumwa na hapa mgongo. Yeah, of course there's to some level these things can manifest even physically, but the physical manifestation is not as significant as physical, you know, issues or physical health issues. So when it's mental, because it's even hard to tell someone that I don't feel like myself, I don't feel like leaving my bed, true. I don't feel like showering, because it's just going to be narrowed down to you're just lazy. The stigma is crazy.
Wow.
The stigma is crazy. If we talk about Bungoma County, the stigma is still there. Yeah, but what I can say is there's progress, and it's through platforms like this that we're able to even create that awareness.
True.
Because you can't deal with something that you don't know.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So hata ndio watu waanze kukua vigilant na kutibu ukimwi, for example. A lot of education had to be done.
True. Very true.
This is what it means. This is what happens to your body when you have it. This is what you can do. You can exercise,
they used to say
take
uchawi.
medication. It was still uchawi. But right now people are very willing to go to a VCT, get tested. Oh, I'm positive. Okay, of course it's not as easy as I'm saying it. True. But say the adherence is better, and it's because of the constant education that has been created around the issue. So even for mental health, we need to be very hands-on to create awareness and to talk about it and to be open, because it's a very uncomfortable topic. Nobody wants to admit. There's like a shame that is attached to it. I mean, and when we talk about men, you're being weak. Unasema aje depression? Unalia nini?
Talking about that, the other day I hosted a guest on this show, and we were talking about matters circumcision. You know, in Bungoma County right now, men are being August. Boys are. I was there, my. Boys are being transitioned to men. So the conversation he was telling me is back then. Right now, I don't know if it's still in place as it was. Back then, the transition from a boy to a man was building this boy to be a strong man who should not even complain, you know. And I was asking him, what about the mental health? And it was like, this is a thing of today, you know. Back then, we didn't have mental health.
But they did.
It was
I mean, why are we so traumatized? Say, for example, as millennials, it's because we were raised by undiagnosed and untreated parents.
Goodness.
It was there. It's just that we didn't talk about it. Just because it wasn't discussed or there wasn't a lot of information around it does not mean it didn't exist.
True.
It was there.
But you know, it was a taboo.
It was a taboo to even admit to it. Sai ni vile we're moving away from the shame. That's why wanasema hizi ni vitu za kisasa. Hizi ni vitu za kujiekelea. But psychology as like a field imekuwa inakuwa studied since very, very long time ago. Yeah, it's just now there is more information. Now we have social media. Now we have things like this. We can just sit here and talk about it, and you have a YouTube channel. Kitambo, they didn't used to have that. So who do you tell? No, you stay there and you die. Kwani kitambo people never used to kill themselves?
No, they do.
See, they did. Exactly.
Yeah.
And suicide is mostly like as a result. It's like the last symptom of mental health issues. So those things have been there.
My brothers say that my Bukusu brothers or my Luya brothers say that they'll be perceived as weak men.
I think we need to redefine what strong means. Because I believe that you still be a strong man. In fact, you are going to be stronger. You're going to have an opportunity to be stronger when you can take care of yourself. Because what that means is you're going to be able to take care of other people.
True.
Say you want to remain to be strong. That toxic definition of being strong. I'm going to say it as it is.
Thank you,
that toxic definition of strong. What are the consequences? Domestic violence. Si ulibaki strong sana. So you suppressed all those emotions, you suppressed all those negative thoughts, you've suppressed hizi vitu zote. They will find a way out of your body. But they won't tell you, oh, we want to live. No. Either they create an illness, ndio hizi high blood pressure zimejaa kila mahali.
True.
Yes. Domestic violence, you want to beat everybody around you. Mental health issues. Some of these people you see kwa streets ati ni mwenda wazimu, some of those people could have gotten help.
Oh, yeah, true.
But they were secluded, you know. Drug addiction, that's a mental illness, and that is what we have normalized. You know, as a man, as a strong man, ukikuwa na stress tunakubaia mzinga, unapiga shots. You know, I had a friend who the dad died. That's when I came here, and that shook me. The dad died, and the friends wanted to show up for this person. You know what they did? Waliandika timetable, like a schedule. Since the dad died, and I know here the culture is like you take a bit of time. Since the dad died until the dad was buried, and even after, nani atakuwa nambaia pombe lini? Juu economy ni mbaya, lakini bado they want to show up for their friend. But how they believe the best way to do that is to kill this person with alcohol. So this person is struggling from maybe the depression. And then on top of that, they're likely to start struggling from addiction which in itself is categorized as a mental illness.
Yes, it is.
So now you don't just have one. Then tutoke hapo tuongeze ka anxiety. By the time you realize, you're like, but see, last week nilikuwa na roba, si alikuwa sawa. Amejua, roba alikuwa na smile. These things piled and piled and piled and piled. No outlet, no healthy outlet. Let me put it that way, because outlets ni mengi. Overindulgence, sex, pombe, nini, drugs. But are those healthy? No, they come, you think they are good for now, you feel nice. In fact, napiga shots hapa, naanza kusmile, napiga story, but tomorrow I'm not going to be drunk still. So what is going to happen is I'm going to have to need that drink
to sustain you.
And more over time. Juu nini naenda ikibuild tolerance more to feel that same way, to feel the peace I'm looking for, to escape my problems. So I think it's high time, Debbie, Kisongochi, that we redefine what strong means. I think you can still be strong even while looking for help. In fact, someone who is confident in their masculinity won't be I'm going to see a psychiatrist, hiyo itapunguza masculinity yangu, because you're so confident in who you are. You don't need other people to define what masculinity is and what masculinity is not. You don't need other people who do not exactly know what you're feeling and how dark depression or anxiety or whatever other mental illnesses you might have or other issues you might have look like. So you don't need those people to define for you whether you should get help or not.
Wow. Daktari, you said, you talked about us millennials, and I think it has touched me personally. Because as you said, some of us are making decisions in life, and we don't know that these decisions are coming up from maybe even we are mentally I won't say mentally challenged. It's infused by how we were brought up.
Childhood traumas.
That's the word I was looking for. And you know, we don't know that some decisions we're making them because we went through childhood traumas. True. You know, I watched a video. I love Lydia KM.
Yes.
I watch her episodes on Instagram, and she was talking about childhood traumas, and I was like, wow, why have I never thought of this? It is real, like big time. It's real. I look at some things I do, and I'm like, wow.
Even this thing that we've made like a trend. But then, and when I say these things, I'm not like excluding myself. Tunangangana wote, we are struggling, all of us. This thing we've made like a trend, vile usoko ni chafu, venye the dating pool is bad, vile dating is hard right now.
Kuna ingine nimesikia inaitwa chorea. Umeona TikTok?
Unachorea. Because of how bad it is, but it's cause we don't realize that how we show up in relationships, which there's a psychological concept about it. We call it the attachment theory. We don't realize that the way we show up in relationships has a lot to do with how we were raised, how our primary caregivers were, whether that's your mom, your dad, your grandmother, your grandfather, or whoever was your very primary caregiver. We don't realize. Wengine wetu tuligrew tukiambiwa venye si ni wajinga. We grew up without receiving that love. In fact, you mentioned ati baba yangu ati alinihag. Like, what? What do you mean? Kwani? Alikuwa amechizi. What do you mean? Yes.
Yeah. I saw on
affection.
TikTok in the morning, so a dad hugging his son, and somebody commented, mimi babangu angenipiga teke nianguke. I'm like, wow.
There's this joke they make. They say, there's a kamima I saw where they say, ati mimi nakumbuka tu babangu ashaini hug mara moja, sijui nikiwa class 6 na stima ilikuwa imepotea na alikuwa anafikiria na hug maid.
Oh my goodness.
So we lacked affection a lot.
Wow.
We were deprived of affection.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we never even saw it. And apart from that, what was modeled to us as what a relationship should look like?
Sure.
Yeah. Because you find a man who right now is beating his wife, sana na watoto wake, probably that is what they saw, and that is what they are copying, because that is the only way they imagine conflict resolution should be done.
That's the only way.
Ati lazima uchape mwanamke kidogo ndio atajua unampenda. What?
I've heard that.
Si hata mimi mamangu amechapwa na babangu milele na hajaitoka. That's the mentality we operate on. So if that is what those were the experiences we had, I mean, they are going to manifest right now.
True.
That is why you're craving a relationship, but when it comes, you don't want. So there are people who are anxious. Wale watu wa clingy. Oh, babes, unipost, nijua unanipenda. Some of those things get extreme. They are not normal. That's an insecure attachment style. The people who are anxious, the people who are avoidant, and mostly people who are avoidant are men. Mostly people who are avoidant are women. Oh, wow. But it's not exclusive like that, really, in terms of numbers. Yeah?
Yeah.
Avoidant ni we can't resolve any conflict. We can't talk about anything that has gone wrong. You want to go and avoid or pretend kila kitu iko sawa.
Glasi kianguka nitaenda huko.
There are people who now, even apart from being anxious ama avoidant, they are both.
Wow.
They have that disorganized presentation.
Like, at what point do I know that I need therapy?
You need therapy. Mimi, I recommend therapy before you get to rock bottom. I know most people wait for rock bottom. Yeah. To get to therapy. But I have clients who come for therapy not because they have extreme issues, but it's like maintenance for them. Venye unajua ukiwa na gari, you take it to the mechanic from time to time.
True.
Sometimes it's not because it's broken or whatever, just it's like servicing, so it can serve you better. Yeah. So any point ushaanza kuona 5 things are affected when your mental health starts to deteriorate, and those same 5 things improve when you're mentally healthy. So we have behavior, we have thoughts, we have feelings or emotions, we have perceptions, and we have interactions with other people. Yeah, and it's a combination of those factors. You find kuna tu vile vitu zimebadilika. Probably like you were saying, sleep may change.
Exactly.
The way you're perceiving life. Maybe you've started losing interest in things that zilikuwa zinakuexcite. Something like this that you can be woken up at 2 and do. It no longer brings you that kind of joy anymore. For adults, libido can go down. Ama uanze kuona uko na extreme. Maybe una overindulge. Umeanza kutumia drugs na hutumiangi. Ama kama unatumianga in a controlled way, imezidi to levels that are not healthy. Your appetite will change. Concentration yako inaanza kubadilika. You start to forget vitu viraisi very carelessly. Yes. When those things start to happen,
it's about time.
And not just once. We know.
We
know when we're not okay.
We always do.
We know when things are changing. Now, unajua, you can't lie to yourself. You can't lie to yourself. You might try and avoid. You might try and, linger it, but it catches up with you.
True.
So what's the best time? When do you know that it's time to go to therapy? When you start to notice those things, or when you just want to have a balanced life. It doesn't even have to be a tushafika for depression. Unataka kujiua. But if you've gotten to that point, it's also good that you come. Yes, it's also good that you come. It doesn't mean that sasa unasema ukuje mapema ati ukingoja mpaka that time it's too late. No, you come and then we figure it out.
Wow. Daktari, as we try and wind up, because I might listen to the whole day at night. I even feel like I'm in a session. And the way my people are not telling me time is up, I think they're also in the session with me. So as we try and wind up, Daktari, at what age do you think is best for, maybe there's a parent out there who is watching us today on Number One TV and on my YouTube channel, and they feel like, I think my son, nowadays kids, this generation, kwanza Gen Alpha, wachana na Gen Z. Gen Alpha, they know everything and they can tell you no or yes,
Yeah.
The other day, my son was telling me, Mom, kasirika, and he's 4. I'm like, my mom will have slapped me.
But now they know their rights.
I was seeing another one on Facebook, on TikTok, the other day, telling her dad, Dad, you need to apologize to me. You're not talking to me nicely. I'm like, wow, my dad will have done something crazy right here.
Not Mr. Kisangache.
Another man. So at what point do you think parents should also involve their kids in therapy? Because, I think the whole conversation we just talked about a mature person who now realizes that they need therapy. At what point do you think a parent should indulge a therapist in their child's life? Yeah.
As early as possible. As early as they are aware of themselves.
Yeah.
Because even children go through these issues.
Very true.
But what do we tell them? Ai, nini unakosa kwa hii nyumba? You start to guilt trip them, and it's you that gave birth to them and they didn't call you.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's harsh.
No, it's true. You start to guilt trip them. Oh, nakulipia school fees. Nakulisha. But that is what you're supposed to do.
It's your
responsibility. And you make this child feel guilty.
Oh,
and you make them feel responsible for your emotions. That is you creating trauma. That is you exactly transferring the trauma that you have, because you're not dealing with it. If you're not dealing with it, you're transferring it to the next person. You go around bleeding on people that didn't cut you. And some of those people you bleed on are your kids.
Oh.
Yeah.
Daktari, how can this
so as early as now, get that child help.
Yeah.
You start to notice some behaviors. A lot of bullying happens. Walimu wengine ni wahash. So find out, how is your child? Have conversations. See tu umemlisha, that is it. What's going on in their lives? Do you notice that when things change with them? Wow. So I go to some of these high schools and primary schools. Those kids even get molested or nini, but they never tell anyone. They never tell their parents. With some of them by their teachers, some of them by their uncles, by their fathers, but they don't tell anyone because there's not that open communication with them. So as early as possible is what I can say. Where you can find me is here in Bungoma. I do both virtual and physical sessions. We talked about Lydia KM.
Yes,
she has a therapist contact list. So someone might not want me, I might not be their best fit.
Like, you cannot be my therapist.
Yes, you can go to Lydia. Me, by the way. You can go to Lydia because you love Lydia.
I love Lydia.
Lydia KM has a highlight on her Instagram where she has posted therapists, and I'm one of the contacts there.
I've seen it there,
and then here in Bungoma, I am at Bungoma Dental and Eye Care Center.
Yes.
It's at Hibo Plaza, first floor, the building that houses Best Lady. So wata ukikuja hapo for your mental health issues, you can also get your teeth or eyes checked as well.
Yes.
My number, maybe. Yes. Okay, my number is 0714 298 453. Asanteni sana na karibu.
Wow. Whew, guys, we could go on and on and on and on and on. Daktari is such a beautiful conversation holder. At some point I don't even feel like we have to end this. But guys, thank you so much for watching my safe space. Daktari has been on my safe space today, so you already know this is a safe space. Thank you so much for coming through, and I'm very sure my friend out there who is not your friend, they'll give you a call. Because I know people in my community need therapy big time. And guys, as the doctor had said, this is something you're doing for yourself, because most of us are givers. We're always giving. But now it's about time you think about yourself and give something to yourself. And you can only do that by giving yourself a health mental state as I can put it. So thank you so much for watching Number One TV. Thank you so much for watching my safe space on our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. See you in the next one. My name is Deborah Kisongochi.
Bye. Thank you.